Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Town of Grand Falls-Windsor Council meeting for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order. And the first order of business today is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a move by Councillor Hiscock, seconded by Councillor Knoll? Any discussion with respect to the agenda? All those in favour? Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is carried. There are no proclamations, presentations, or announcements today, so we'll move into the adoption of the minutes from the August 26th meeting. Any errors or omissions? There being no errors or omissions, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder to have the minutes of the August 26th meeting adopted. Moved by Councillor Dwyer and second by Councillor Knoll. Any discussion with respect to the minutes of August 26th? There being none, all in favour? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Our first order of business today is item number 6.1, a short-term rental cottage development at Grand Falls House. And I'll call on Councillor Little, please.
Deputy Mayor. Council approval is required to issue the request for proposals to find a proponent interested in the construction and operation of short-term rental cottages at Grand Falls House. Second point there is council approval is required to commit 75% of revenue collected from the lease arrangement will be directed to the Grand Falls House Foundation Board for maintenance of building and grounds. The third point is commit to the town's investment in water and sewer infrastructure, storm sewer services, and site preparation to grade each cottage lot conditional upon a successful proponent being identified. So I propose that council approve the issuance of the request for proposals for short-term rental cottage development at Grand Falls House, and further that council approve the commitment of 75% of lease revenues to the Grand Falls House Foundation Board for maintenance of the building and grounds, and further that council commit to provide water, sewer, and storm sewer services to complete land development to grade for each cottage lot, subject to a successful proponent being identified through the RFP process.
Okay, thanks to Councillor Little. Can I have a second for the resolutioner? Councillor Cody. Any discussion with respect to the resolution? Councillor Little, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So some background here. The town of Grand Falls-Windsor is revitalizing the Grand Falls House property in partnership with the Grand Falls House Foundation. Engineering design work is underway for upgrades to the house and construction of a food and beverage service facility. As part of the revitalization plan, council has prepared an RFP to invite private sector proponents to develop and operate a minimum of 8 cottages that complement the heritage character of the site and provide high-quality short-term rental accommodations. The RFP outlines the lease arrangement, revenue sharing model, infrastructure commitments, and operational expectations. Council decisions are required to authorize the issuance of the RFP and confirm commitments to revenue allocation and infrastructure support. So just some notes we have down bottom here is the lease revenues will be collected by the town, and as I said in the discussion above, 75% of those revenue will be directed towards the foundation, and they would use that to upkeep the grounds and the house itself, which you know, there's an initial investment here, but the long-term back end of it would get us hopefully into the plus column here with this venture, right? That's the idea, is that it will end up paying for itself in the long term. So the partnership is obviously the foundation board, and there's private sector developers looking at these, or hopefully going to be bidding on these RFPs for cottages. And there's tourism stakeholders. I know some of our economic development have been talking to some of our tourism businesses in our tourism sector, like tour buses and like the Salmon Ladder and those places. So there's opportunities. Zip line comes to mind, opportunities that we could have people staying, you know, a stay and zip package where people stay at the cottages and they might go on zip lines or white water rafting or salmon fishing or all the other things they can come here and do. And this supports our strategic goal of enhancing tourism and cultural infrastructure. Thank you.
Councillor Little, well said. Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, and we see it as another opportunity to, in the tourism sector in Grand Falls-Windsor, to bring people to Grand Falls-Windsor and to support our business community. The more people who are visiting Grand Falls-Windsor, the better the business climate is in Grand Falls-Windsor. So good idea, and just the tip of the iceberg with respect to the potential of the amount of land there at Grand Falls House. So this would just be the first phase and the first idea going forward. All those in favour? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next order of business is item number 8.1. Councillor Dwyer, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's decision is required on whether to support the submission of a request to the provincial and federal governments for additional funding under the Canada Community Building Fund, the CCBF, Provincial Targeted Infrastructure Fund, which is the Water Wastewater Initiative. This is not a request for municipal funds. If approved, the additional cost will be 100% covered by the CCBF program, just to be clear. And so I move that Council approves the submission of a funding request under the Canada Community Building Fund, CCBF, Provincial Targeted Infrastructure Fund, Water Wastewater Initiative, for an additional $1,272,681 for Project 99-2024-8388, which is the sludge drying bed, bringing the total project value to $2,843,058.
I get a seconder for the resolution? Councillor Cody, thank you. Any discussion with respect to the resolution? Councillor Dwyer, please.
So this project is, which is led by the Exploits Regional Water Supply Committee, the ERWSC, involves the design and construction of sludge drying beds at the regional water treatment plant. And the scope of the design includes the design, the geotechnical investigation, sludge disposal recommendations, and sludge transfer pump specifications. And basically, what we need to accomplish here is for the large amounts of unsuitable material must be removed before putting backfill in, and drying bed widths have to be increased by 5 meters to accommodate sludge volumes that are currently being produced at the regional water treatment plant. And in order for us to have adequate capacity and long-term functionality and meet our environmental obligations, this has to be done. However, the projected costs have increased by $1,272,881, so $681. These are not my glasses. These are borrowed specs. I'm going to have to get after my husband soon after this meeting. Yeah, so that's the information, and obviously it's something that we have to do, and we're hoping that this funding will be approved so that we're not on the hook for $1.2 million, because it has to be done. Thank you.
And the initial funding was approved, was it, Mr. Chapman, for this? And we're confident that the additional funding will be approved as well.
Yeah, I think the initial estimate was 1.5 million, and then when the site was further evaluated, it was deemed to be a lot of excavation required, and so the estimate was revised, and which is why we're applying for the increased amount.
Okay, any more discussion with respect to the resolution? I got a mover and a seconder. All in favour? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Item number 9.2, a land request on 10 Valley Road. Councillor, 9.1, land request 24 Valley Road. Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's direction is requested on the request for the purchase of town-owned land and pending Crown lands at 24 Valley Road to support the renovation of existing warehouse buildings and the construction of an additional warehouse building. I move that Council approve the sale of the identified town-owned land at 24 Valley Road, and further that Council confirm its intent to transfer the pending Crown lands application to the purchaser upon successful acquisition by the town, with the sale to proceed in accordance with the town's land policy.
Okay, we got a resolution on the floor. Can I get a second there, Councillor Little? Thank you. Any discussion with respect to the resolution? Councillor Hiscock, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, the property's at 24 Valley Road, Deputy Mayor, and it's the old standout warehouse. People passing by Scott Avenue now, you'll see there's a lot of construction work there, and the people that own that property want to expand it because they want to put more buildings there. So I'm all in favor, to accommodate this. Request has been submitted to purchase the town-owned land on the western side of the site and crown lands to the south and east, for which the town has an active application. The sale of these parcels will provide the purchaser with sufficient land to support both the planned renovations and future expansion, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any more discussion with respect to the resolution? No, and this can only be a good thing for the town of Grand Falls-Windsor, for business owners to be asking to expand warehouses. It means there's good news coming after that, I would guess. Any further discussion? We had a mover and a seconder. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Item number 9.2, Councillor Hiscock, please. Land request from 10 Valley Road.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council direction is requested on proceeding with an application to Crown Lands for a parcel of backland at 10 Valley Road, formerly Abitibi property, with the intent to resell the land to the resident under the town's land sales policy. And I propose that council approve submitting an application to Crown Lands for the parcel of backland at 10 Valley Road, formerly Abitibi property, and upon successful acquisition, authorize the sale of the land to the resident in accordance with the town's land sales policy, subject to ensuring no conflicts in town infrastructure or long-term planning, and limited to the rear boundary of the adjoining property.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Can I get a seconder for the Councillor Dwyer? Thank you. Any discussion with respect to the resolution? Councillor Hiscock, please.
Yeah, Deputy Mayor, yeah, that piece of land goes between Valley Road and Scott Avenue. It's just a back lane, it's not being used for anything, so it's a real good thing that homeowners want to expand their properties back a bit and clean that area up and keep it clean. So I'm all in favor, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any more discussion with respect to the resolution? We got a mover and a seconder. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Item number 9.3. Upgrade of infrastructure from Lincoln Road to Cromer Avenue. Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Decisions require whether council will support an application to the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, provincial stream, for the upgrade of the water line, storm and sanitary infrastructure to support the proposed housing development off Lincoln Road near Sunset Drive. And I propose that council approves the application for cost-shared funding through the Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund call for applications in the amount of $3,242,483.72, HST included.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Can I get a seconder on the resolution, please? Councillor Little, thank you. Any further discussion on the resolution?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, the town has identified Lincoln Road area as a potential site for new residential development. However, current infrastructure does not have the capacity to support growth. The 100-millimeter water line cannot provide adequate fire flows, and both storm and sanitary systems must be upgraded to meet development standards. Without these improvements, housing development in the area cannot be accommodated. Project directly aligns with the Housing Accelerator Fund objectives, addressing infrastructure barriers that limit the creation of smaller, affordable housing units, according to the Hart Report 2024. Grand Falls-Windsor will require an additional 960 one- to two-person households by 2031. So this is a chance, Deputy Mayor, to get a real jump on that. The Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund call for application providing the opportunity to cost share the necessary upgrades. The proposed project is valued at $3,242,483.72, HST included, with a cost share arranged by 50% federal, 33% provincial, and 70% municipal. The town share will be $551,222.23, HST included. If approved, any cost above the approved project will remain the sole responsibility of the town of Grand Falls-Windsor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any more discussion on the resolution? Okay, there being none, we got a mover and a seconder. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution's carried. Item number 9.4, the application for funding. Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's direction is required on whether to submit an application to the Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund, CHIF, direct stream for cost-shared funding to complete water, sanitary, and storm infrastructure upgrades at 109A Lincoln Road. It's the old 63 Club property in support of future apartment development. And I move that the council approve the submission of an application to the Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund direct stream for the proposed infrastructure upgrades at 109A Lincoln Road, with the town agreeing to fund its 50% share of project costs estimated at $407,902.70, HST included, should the application be successful. So it's hinging on if that application is done. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Councillor Hiscock. Can I get a seconder for Councillor Knoll? Thank you very much. Any further discussion on the resolution?
Yes, Deputy Mayor. That project at 109A Lincoln Road, it has the potential to deliver 60-plus new units. In the central is a walkable area. It's close to all the amenities, close to schools, whatever. So I think it's just a great idea, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. And the one thing for sure we're in need of here is more housing development and more places to live for people. So this would be a great project. It's a great location. And as you know, it's centrally located around the hospital and the schools, etc. And not a long walk to the shopping centres either. Any more discussion with respect to the resolution? All in favour? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Item number 9.5, and for this particular item, I'll ask Councillor Cody and Councillor Knoll to vacate the chambers, please. Okay, Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's consideration of the adoption of Development Regulations Amendment, DRA number 26, 2025, to update the definition of industrial light. And I propose under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town Council of Grand Falls-Windsor adopts the Amendment number 26, 2025 to the Grand Falls-Windsor Development Regulations 2022-2032.
Okay, can I get a seconder for the motion, please, Councillor Dwyer? Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Hiscock, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Basically, Deputy Mayor, this updates the definition of industrial light to include offices related to the primary use permitted as accessory uses and not limited to within the principal building. Temporary short-term accommodations for employees or contractors directly working for the primary use, dormitory or hostel arrangements, updates accessory employee residential to allow for temporary short-term accommodations directly related to the industrial light uses. Clarifies that the height restrictions for the accessory buildings applies only within residential zones.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any further discussion on the motion? I will add that Councillor Cody and Councillor Knoll could be in a perceived conflict of interest with respect to this item, and that's why they are not here for this discussion on this item. Any further discussion? I got a mover and a seconder. All in favour? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Can you ask Councillor Knoll and Councillor Cody to return to chambers, please? Item number 9.6, rezoning of number 1 St. Catherine Street. Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's approval is required to forward Municipal Plan Amendment number 23, 2025, and Development Regulations Amendment number 30, 2025 to the Department of Municipal Affairs and Community Engagement for Section 15 review and released under the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000. And I propose that council, under the authority of Section 15 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, approve forwarding Municipal Plan Amendment Number 23, 2025, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 30, 2025, rezoning of 1 St. Catherine Street to the Department of Municipal Affairs and Community Engagement for review and release.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Can I get a second there, please? Councillor Little, thank you. Any further discussion on the resolution?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, the property is at 1 St. Catherine Street. It's the former Millcrest, and back in the day it was former St. Catherine's building. Has been identified for redevelopment. The proposed rezoning is intended to facilitate construction of a family care team medical center and supporting residential development while aligning zoning for better reflect the planned use of the site.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any further discussion? Councillor Dwyer, please.
It's exciting news to know that someone has been awarded tender for this. The family care team is something that the coalition has been, fighting for, basically, to get a new centre here in Grand Falls-Windsor. And we have one operating now, and this is the second location that it's been. So this will be the third, but hopefully the final home of family care team in Grand Falls-Windsor. And I know that everyone who has had experience with it has had really good results and are satisfied with how it's going. So,
Certainly a good thing for the people of Grand Falls-Windsor and the surrounding areas, actually, and to have a new family care team building in Grand Falls-Windsor, and a really good location, I think, up next to the hospice, and the developer also intends to put some residential units, single-family homes behind that.
Could be multi-units too.
Or some multi-units as well. So good news on that end. Any further discussion with respect to the resolution? There being none, I got a mover and a seconder. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Item number 10.1, Community Corporate Services. Disbursement Report. Councillor Cody, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So this information note is prepared by staff and reviewed by council, which provides a summary of disbursements over $1,000 as of September 16, 2025, in the amount of $895,524.26.
Okay, any discussion with respect to the disbursement report? There being none, we'll move on to item number 10.2, the tax receivable analysis.
This information note is prepared by staff and reviewed by council and provides a summary of taxation receivables as of August 31st, 2025. The total taxation receivables amount to $5,426,709, which is an increase of $926,532, or 20.59% compared to the previous year. The accounts receivable aging shows that 69% of the receivables are current, with the remaining amounts spread across 1 year, 2 years, and 3+ years. Monthly collections for August 2025 amounted to $799,796, which is approximately 13% of the total amount accounts receivable. Staff have been utilizing water shutoffs and sending reminder statements to residents and businesses who have yet to pay their balances. Please contact the Town Hall at 489-0402, 0403, or 0404 with any questions about your tax bill. Budget and financial implications. The total tax revenue for 2025 increased by approximately 12%. This impacts the outstanding balance. As of August 2025, the outstanding balance being covered on a payment plan is $2,491,680, which is 46% of the total outstanding receivables. So management will continue to monitor taxation receivables and report updates at future meetings.
Thank you, Councillor Cody. Any more discussion with respect to the taxation receivables? Councillor Cody.
Yeah, just a couple More comments to mention in the information note. We have issued water shut-off notices, and we have had some success with that. People realize that we are serious about the tax collection. We have had people reach out to the office to set up payment plans for property taxes, or set up on the monthly prepayment plans as well. So we're very receptive to working with our residents, to making sure that our taxes are up to date, and that if they're facing any financial difficulties or anything like that that could be hindering them paying their taxes in full, we will continue to work with them and provide a payment plan that is suitable for them and for us as well. So, if you are in those situations, please reach out to us. And if you're not in those situations and you just start taking your time paying your taxes, we would encourage you to pay them on time, because it affects our ability to provide the services in our community that our residents have become accustomed to.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion with respect to the taxation receivables? No, and as Councillor Cody noted, please come see us if you're in arrears. We can work something out. Our Director of Corporate Services and his staff will work something out with you, and that is good for both of us. So there's no need to be sitting home worried about your taxation when you can come down here and set up a plan and have it resolved fairly quickly. Okay, we're ready to move on to item number 10.3, open calls for bids for the metal roofing installation.
Okay, thank you. So this was an open call for bid summary 05-2025. Council's decision is required to award the installation of metal roofing at the clubhouse at Shannon-Didit Centennial Field Complex. That the proposed resolution is that Council award the open call for bids related to metal roofing installation to WR Excavation in the amount of $17,300 plus HST. The reason for this: the roof of the old baseball clubhouse is leaking and requires replacement. The building is currently being used for storage of various items for the Community Services Department. Budget implications, nothing serious at this point. However, it could be if the items inside that clubhouse do get damaged and have to be replaced. So the recommendation is, of course, to award the project to WR Excavation in the amount of $17,300 plus HST.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cody. A seconder for the resolution, Councillor Knoll. Thank you. Any further discussion on the resolution? And this would be the building at the very end of Shannon-Didit Centennial Field, the old baseball clubhouse we used to call it. And the town stores a lot of important items in there, and the roof is leaking and could ruin what we have in there. So that's the reason for the metal roofing installation. We had a mover and a seconder. All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Item number 10.4, change of meeting schedule. Councillor Cody, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council's decision is required to update the council meeting schedule to ensure the swearing in of the new councillors is completed within the required time limits. The resolution is that council change the next regular meeting of council to October the 14th, 2025. The next regular meeting of council is scheduled to take place on October 21st, which is more than 2 weeks later than the municipal election on October 2nd. The official swearing in of new councillors must take place within 2 weeks of the election. So I recommend that the meeting be changed to October the 14th, 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Cody. Any more discussion with respect to the, and can I get a seconder for the resolution, please? Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Any discussion with respect to the meeting change of date for the next regular council meeting? And certainly when we decided this, we didn't know when the provincial election was going to be held. Now it's going to be held on exactly the same October 14th as our next meeting, so we might want to look at this once more. Not sure we should have a council meeting on provincial election day or not, but we can discuss at a future meeting and make any changes if necessary. Any more discussion with respect to the resolution? Got a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Okay, our next order of business is item number 14, new business or other business. And tonight, we're going to start with Councillor Knoll.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a couple items for me this evening. Poutine Fest is fast approaching. It's always a great event. Hopefully we'll have riders from all over, but I know we'll have a pile of poutines from all over. Apparently some recipes have been slipped out on Facebook already, so we're looking forward to that on the 26th and 27th. And the following day, on the 28th, on Sunday, is World Rivers Day. Another event that's near and dear to my heart, and so we will be reaching out to the schools again and the general public. You know, it's kind of cool when I see people just showing up from the general public who've heard about it in the past and wanted to get involved, and they show up and they come down and they want and they contribute, and then the following year they bring down some more. So it's kind of growing that way. It's taken a life of its own, but again, it's a nationwide event and beyond. But here in Grand Falls-Windsor, it's something that we've been doing. I mean, going back 20 years now, I guess, thanks to Mr. Dave Barker, who was instrumental in organizing this in many years gone by. So again, I encourage the folks to come out to both events, the Poutine Fest and the World Rivers Day, at the 26th, 27th, and the 28th of this month. Driving around town, there's still a couple of basketball nets out on some sidewalks, right? And, you know, I really don't want to have to get the MEOs in there, but I just implore upon the residents of town, if your child has a basketball net, I mean, it's not a permanent structure. Yeah, get out and enjoy it, have some exercise, some fresh air, feed the flies, whatever. But when you're finished, take the basketball net, just tip it up onto your lawn, so people with mobility issues and those that are just, you know, walking, because I see them lots of time on Gravel Heights on the little motorized scooters now, and they need the sidewalks. They need the sidewalks to be free from the basketball net. So keep that in the back of the brain at all time. And I just want to say thank you to those residents that put their trust in me 4 years ago. I had zero idea how busy this place really is. I can speak to the directors. I mean, you know, for the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes is phenomenal. And, you know, thinking that we're going to sit down and eat a few grapes and discuss a bit of policy once upon a time was the farthest thing from the reality of what goes on behind the scenes. So I just wanted to say, you know, it's been a pleasure. It's been an eye-opening experience for the past 4 years, and maybe we'll do it again. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Knoll. And so yeah, World Rivers Day, it is amazing how much debris and garbage is collected during that event. It's just to blow you away. With hard to believe that it's all just sitting there waiting to be collected now, but anyway, hats off to you and the World Rivers Day and your organization and your colleagues and students who I know help with that very important day. Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a few items. One is Senior Wellness Show. It's coming up at Joel Byrne on the 23rd of September from 10 until 2. Sobeys will have free snacks, Tim Hortons with their coffee and tea. Also, free gift bags, I think, for the first 800. I'm not quite sure, but until they're all gone. And UC5 will be giving us some great entertainment. So last year we had over 800 people there. And they came from everywhere, right around Central Newfoundland. It was a great, great show. It was just getting bigger and better every year. So I advise people, please circle your calendar. Joel Byrne Memorial Stadium, September the 23rd from 10 to 2 is going to be a fabulous, fabulous day. Also, the agricultural show at the Joel Byrne is going to be held from October the 3rd to the 5th. And encourage people to come out to that because that's just a wonderful time as well. And also, I would just like to give a shout out to all the candidates running now, and all the new ones that put their names forward is a great thing. I mean, serving your community, I enjoyed the last 4 years. It's a fabulous thing, and thanks, like I say, to our CAO, our directors. They do an unbelievable job. Our frontline employees, the ones that are out there every day, the job that they do is just absolutely phenomenal. And when you become a part of council, you really, really see what that's all about. So hats off to all those, and I wish them all the best in the upcoming election. And thanks, like I said, thanks everybody for all your help. And it's been an honor It really has been an honor for me, and I'm genuine in that, to serve the residents of Grand Falls-Windsor these past 4 years. And I thank them for the opportunity, and hopefully maybe I might be lucky enough to get back. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. And the Seniors Wellness Show, yes, I encourage everybody, there's up to, I think it's 48 exhibitors now.
Yeah.
And certainly worth you all to go visit and go for a walkthrough, and if you're not interested in the exhibitors, like as you said, the UCW are putting off a concert there at noon, and come down for a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Snacks, like you said,
Right.
so, and this is all free. It's
Right.
all free.
It is. Okay, Councillor Little, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Noel mentioned the Poutine Fest. The tickets cut off for that is next week, early next week. So if you do attend that, or plan on going, buy your tickets before the end of next week, because they do have to cut it off before the event so they can order the food and everything like that, so they don't have a ton of food being thrown away at the end of it, because we didn't sell as many tickets as we had planned. So the information for that can be found on our Facebook and website for those tickets. And hopefully it's already 300 or so gone. I think the maximum is around 500. So, you know, there's pretty good crowds sold, pretty good group tickets sold already. So hopefully we can sell some more and pack that stadium for another Poutine Fest. This weekend, the Impact AAA is starting their regular season. They picked their team. A large group of Grand Falls-Windsor Modern Hockey Cataracts made the team this year, like more than I've noticed in the last couple of years. So that's good. A lot of our local players there. So if you want to go to that, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. It's Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. I've said it in the past, the AAA hockey is the roughest, fastest hockey we have here, Cataracts included. It's very exciting to watch, so if people want to support it, it's a great thing to get out and support our youth. And finally, it's my two colleagues have always said, it's time to thank you for allowing me to serve the community for the last 4 years. Extremely challenging, but extremely rewarding. So without getting too emotional, thank you.
Councillor Little. And like I said, serving on this council is very challenging. Is every day. There's something every day. And but as you noted, Councillor Little, very rewarding as well. Councillor Dwyer, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Some exciting news in Grand Falls-Windsor this week. Equinox Gold has delivered the first gold from its Valentine Gold Mine in Central, and certainly it's the largest gold mine in Atlantic Canada, and it's a huge contributor to our economy. And I expect that we'll see a lot of, or some significant secondary businesses operating here in Grand Falls-Windsor as a result of that. And I know that our directors have been working extremely hard to get some of that business here, and we're very appreciative of those efforts. And you know, they're a big employer and well-paying jobs, and it's very significant news. They're going to be here for at least 14 years, and that's the span of some people's career. And I remember when I first got elected, it was one of the first meetings outside of chambers that we went up to Mount Peyton, and there, you know, it was still very much unknown whether or not they would pass all the environmental screening and tests that had to be done, and here we are today, and they have their first goal, so I'm sure they're very excited as well. Exploits Chamber is having their 25th Annual Business Excellence Awards, and they're asking for nominations for businesses. There are a lot of categories. How many categories are there? Do you know? Like 20, 25 categories or something. Anyway, the Accessibility Committee has an award this year for an accessible business, so I'll certainly be speaking to Andrew about nominees for that. And you know, every business that you can think of can be recognized in some way. And so they're taking nominations, and you can do it through the Facebook or their website, and so that's great. Amy and I attended the Take Back the Night ceremony last Wednesday, and it was very nice. So thanks to the Status of Women Violence Prevention, and the Journey Project was recognized, was in attendance there as well. And Rachel Arnold delivered an excellent speech. I'm always proud of Rachel when she does speeches. Usually it's in the Kiwanis Music Festival, and I'm sure her Parents are proud of her, too. I would like to take a second to just thank my council colleagues and the directors, all the employees. The work that goes on behind the scenes is absolutely incredible. And it really makes Grand Falls-Windsor what it is. And I'm so proud of this community, and I'd like to be here for the next 4 years, and hopefully that will be the case. Thanks very much.
Councillor Dwyer. Councillor Cody.
Thank you. Just a couple of reminders on road work that's happening. Harris Avenue has been torn up for the last couple of days. They're working through that. So just be mindful, watch your speed, watch the signs, watch flags people, employees. Make sure you're moving through construction zones safely. Pay attention to what you're doing to make sure you get to where you're going safely and that all the employees can get home safely as well at the end of the day. Evenings are closing in. We have a lot of walkers in this community, so I would encourage them to start wearing their reflective armbands or reflective clothing. You might leave in plenty of time thinking you'll have your walk completed before it gets dark, but closes in quick, and as soon as it gets dusky, it's very difficult to see anyone, especially if you're wearing dark colored clothing or anything like that. So, be cautious of that. A lot of people wear headphones or earbuds. I would encourage to keep one ear open at all times so you can hear what's going on around you. Traffic coming, people walking behind you or passing you on bicycles and whatnot. So just always be mindful of your surroundings. The advanced poll is happening on Saturday, September 20th. It's going to be at the Windsor Pentecostal Church. It's open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I would encourage residents, if you want to vote in the advanced poll, that's your opportunity to do so. Election day is October 2nd. Polling stations will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The listing of polling stations by street is listed on our Facebook page. You can reach out to any member of council as well, and we'll get you that information if you have any questions on where to vote or where to find the information on where to vote. I said my piece at the last meeting, but I'll never pass up the opportunity to again say what a wonderful job this is. And it's a job, I say it all the time. For the most part, this is a volunteer position. You'll never ever be compensated for the amount of hours, the amount of time that you put in to being a municipal councillor, whether you're in a city or a small rural community. It's the most rewarding and fulfilling thing I've ever done. I thought Andrew was only going to be the emotional one here tonight. But it's so fulfilling, and you put your heart and soul into this work every single day, and you do the best job, and you make the best decisions based on the information that you are given. We have such supportive staff, such incredibly professional and educated staff who give us that information to help us make those decisions. And at the end of the day, sometimes it might not be the best decision, but we always are big enough to admit that maybe that wasn't the best decision. Let's revisit. And, if we need to make changes, we can make changes. And that's how teams work. And we have been a team through and through. I've been on several teams because I've been here for a little while. But, each time you find your stride, you find your supporters, and you work together, and you move your town forward. And I am totally respectful of the people who come up to us, whether they have an issue that you try to help them with, or if they just walk up to you and say, thanks, I think you're doing a great job. We do it because we love it. And I've enjoyed working with each one of you. To the staff, again, I can't say enough about them. Don't believe what you hear out in the community, because I can tell you, we're pretty lucky to have such professional and educated staff to help guide us make the decisions to keep Grand Falls-Windsor growing and thriving and sustainable. Vote wisely on October 2nd, September 20th if you choose the advance poll. Research your candidates, do your homework. The information is all out there. We all have pamphlets, Facebook pages, going door to door, talking to people, so make sure you're asking the questions. And again, most importantly, cast your vote either on September 20th or October 2nd. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cody. And just to wrap up for the evening, yes, this is the last meeting for this council that was elected in 2021, and the next meeting we'll see the new council that's elected in 2025. Elected and sworn in and serving for the next 4 years. So certainly on behalf of Mayor Manuel and myself and all the council, as you noted, thank you for all your support. Mr. Goss, Mr. Chapman, Mr. Mercer, Mr. Finn, and to all your staff, and to our, and as Councillor Hiscock noted, our frontline workers as well. We got a great staff here, and we're proud of them each and every day. And we can only hope that the newly elected council will give the support to our staff and workers that we have, because that's what they deserve. And as I say, we're very proud of them. And like I said, we'll be back here sometime in early October with the swearing-in ceremony for the newly elected council. Anything else? Anybody would like to add? Okay, we'll make a motion. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Councillor Dwyer, seconder. Councillor Little. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned, and we'll see you all back in a few weeks' time. Thank you.